Hello there, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold, and here we are, November 14th. We're halfway through the second to last month of the year. Next month, we'll close it all up, wrap a bow in 2023, and look forward to 2024. But there's still a lot of trading left, so let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to be going through what happened today. We're going to look at the news of the day. We had major news out of the U.S. that caused a whole lot of movement. Big moves across the board. The big question is, did it change anything in the technicals? We'll take a look at the technical analysis on the major markets, and we're also going to go through each currency and update our currency score. And then once we have those currency scores from +3 to -3, we look at all the things that are +2 and +3, and we pair them up against the things that are -2 and -3, and those are our trades that we're going to be making for the next 24 hours.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
Big moves across the board in the market. This is where we were just 24 hours ago. We said there was strength in the Aussie, strength in the pound, strength in the euro, and strength in the Kiwi. And there was a whole bunch of stuff that was just zero or in the middle, and we really liked Japanese yen. That was our call for this week, was that the yen was going to be the best trade short, and we actually had the euro as the best trade on the long side. Let's see what actually happened here over the past 24 hours. We had two major bits of news here. We had the UK claimant count change come out early this morning, and it was a little weaker than expected, but pretty much near expectations. The pound had already had some momentum going into it, and that momentum did not stop today. And then this morning, we had the CPI report came in lower than expected, which was a huge surprise to the market. The headline number was supposed to be 0.1, it was 0. The core was supposed to be 0.3, it was 0.2. The year over year was 3.2 instead of the 3.3. A much better report than normal, and everything spiked higher. Everything had a huge spike and rally higher. So what did we see in the world of Forex? We saw the dollar get absolutely crushed, down 1.5% today. That is a really big move in one day. Look, we saw the yen go down another 0.5%. The yen is already down over 1% this week. Again, it's still our favorite short. We'll take a look at the charts here in just a second. What did well? Well, you can see the Aussie Kiwi said, hey, we're risk-on currencies. We're going to grab onto this momentum. Aussie Kiwi are definitely the strongest at the moment, but I want you to take a look at that euro and pound. That was a decent day today. Look, I know it wasn't as big and as sexy as the move in the Kiwi, but look, a 0.5% move in pound, pair that up against the yen, hey, that's a 1% move. That's a really nice move during the day. And the CAD, it got hit down too with the US dollar. Again, the correlations between the two are pulling the CAD down, so the CAD is not looking all that great as well. As I said earlier, massive rallies in equities. S&P up 2%, that's a big move. The world index up even more, 2.3%. And crypto actually gave back a little bit of its recent strength. Crypto turned early on in this rally, and as the rally has become broader, money is no longer going into crypto. It's actually coming out of crypto and going into some other places. Gold up about 1%, oil down a little bit. Oil still really just sitting in that high $70 area. As I mentioned, all the cryptos got hit today, and it was really across the board. I don't think there's anything we can take a look at these numbers and say one is better than the other. They all basically down 2 to 3%. The question is, did we get a scoring change? Now, we were already at a +2. +2 meaning the markets were above the 20-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average, and really what we're waiting for is we're waiting for it to be above the slope. We were already at +2. The big question is, do we have a cross in the 20 and 50? We don't. And are they sloping higher? The answer is no. So we are still at a +2. But look, this market is still very, very strong. It's just not a +3 yet. But there's no question that the technicals are still bullish, but there is no scoring change at the moment. Let's take a look at the calendar. What do we have for the next 24 hours? Well, tonight we've got Aussie wage prices. So if you're trading Aussie, you definitely want to be watching that. We also have Chinese industrial production. which is going to be affecting the Aussie and the Kiwi. If you're trading both of those currencies, you want to make sure that you are watching these reports. We do have the CPI out of the UK tomorrow morning, and then we have a little bit of a follow-up out of the US with PPI and some retail sales out of the US. Lots of good stuff happening over the next 24 hours. I think we're definitely going to have another good trading day going forward. So let's go in and take a look at some of the currencies that have moved today, and let's see how we can update some scores. I want to first take a look at the dollar. Now, we had talked about this dollar being in this range up here. And you can see this range, and all of a sudden now we're falling. We have now gone below this range. That is pretty critical here. We've been waiting and watching to see, okay, what is the dollar going to do? Is it going to break out to the upside, or is it going to roll over and break down? And you can see we kind of got a little bit of a head start on that because we are now breaking down. Is dollar the best short out there? It's probably not the best, but is it a decent short? Sure, it's a decent short, but remember, we don't want to make decent trades. We want to make great trades. So let's pop in on stuff like the yen. The yen is crystal clear. It's a crystal clear trade here. We've got a low base breakdown. Look, the yen is moving. So if you want to be short dollar, why don't you take a look at yen? And if you don't want to be short yen, then why don't we take a look at something like the Canadian dollar? As you can see here, just a beautiful low base, and we're now breaking down below that. So for me, yes, the dollar, I know a lot of people have been wanting to short the dollar when it finally broke because it's been so strong for so long. I get it. It's not the easiest trade. The easier trades are to be short the yen and the CAD. What is the question next is, what do we want to be long? So let's take a look at our 3+3s. The pound looks really good here. The pound breaking out of a high base here as well. So pound looks ready to go right here. Take a look at Aussie. Aussie had a deep pullback, now having a bounce off of that. The Aussie also ready to go, and I think could be making a run up to this point. And we take a look at Kiwi. Kiwi had that same pullback breaking out. We don't have any resistance until up here about 69.50 here on the Kiwi basket. So all three of those look good on the long side. The big question is, which one is the best? So 24 hours ago, we had a few currencies that were showing us this was strong this week, but a whole lot in the middle. Watch this. I love what happened today. The stuff that was showing a little bit of weakness, it got weaker. So now we've got the CAD, the dollar, the yen, all at -3. And the things that were showing some strength, what happened? Well, they got stronger. Aussie, pound, and Kiwi. As you can see, the Swiss franc is staying neutral as on brand. Way to go, Switzerland. But really, take a look at this. Aussie, pound, and Kiwi are all giving us really strong signs at the moment to be long. And CAD, dollar, and yen on the short side. So really, it's just a matter of combining those and trying to find what is the best one. Let's go through that right now and take a look at what is the best setup here for the next 24 hours. Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader? The way we're going to do this is I'm going to pair all the weak currencies against each other, and I'm going to pair all the strong currencies against each other. So I'm going to take a look at dollar yen. So at this point, the question is, okay, what is the right place to be on dollar yen, long or short? And for me, boy, it's not really conclusive. Yes, we've had a big fall lately, But when you take a look at this over the last week or two, you can see it's not really going anywhere. So if I did have to say, what would I rather be right here, right now? Okay, I would rather be short dollar than yen, but overall, not really showing me all that much. So dollar is the weakest at the moment. Let's pair it up against the CAD. And you can see dollar is also the weakest against the CAD. Okay, so again, I started off saying, okay, I like yen and CAD better on the short side. Then when I really get into what's happening right here, right now, there's no question that the dollar had the big weekday. I would love to see the dollar have a little bounce and then short that bounce in dollar. And I think you can also take a look at being short the yen and the CAD, but looking at them all paired up against each other, I have to go with dollar is actually number one. I'm going to do the same thing with all of our longs. So let's take a look at pound versus Aussie. At this point, again, pound over the last 2 weeks has definitely been stronger than the Aussie, but you can see right here, right now, where is the momentum? The momentum is pound is weakening against Aussie, which means the Aussie is stronger than the pound at the moment. Let's pull up the Aussie against the Kiwi. And you can see the Aussie and the Kiwi really have been about the same over the past couple of days. You know, at some point they just undulated, but at the moment, the Aussie is weakening against the Kiwi, which tells us that the Kiwi is the strongest at the moment. Let's take our strongest currency at the moment and pair it against our weakest currency at the moment, and that gives us Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi dollar to the long side. And we take a look here, and we've gone a long way. We've gone a very long way in a short amount of time, 58.7 all the way up to 60. That's like a 2.2% rally here in the last 12 hours. Okay, so what do we do here? We want to be long, but we're thinking, okay, had a huge move. We need to wait for a pullback or a base. And that's really what we want to do here is we want to wait for a pullback or a base. I would absolutely love to see this currency cross base for the next, let's call it, 12, 15 hours. I would love to see a base right between these 2 points of 59.8 and 60.10. A breakout above 60.10 would be a really, really great buy signal. Now, the market doesn't always listen to me of what I want it to do. It could just keep going. But for me, I really like that trade. And then the question is, where's the next bit of resistance? It's going to be up here at 60.60. 60.60, the next bit of resistance. So you still have about 1%, maybe 0.85% up until that next level of resistance. I think that's a really good looking trade. If you don't want to do Kiwi versus dollar, then let's just step down and do something like pound versus yen. So pound versus yen looks really good. We had the breakout. I'm going to say the same thing here. We had a really big breakout. And the question is, do we want to be chasing it up here? No. We're going to be doing the same thing, waiting for a pullback or a base. So it's either going to hang out right up here around the 188 to 187.50 area, and then a breakout above that point would be a great entry point, or we're going to get a pullback where we pull back and we maybe come all the way back down to 187, maybe 186.50, take a bounce there, and then start the next move higher. But this one is not ready to go at the moment either. I think if we take a look at anything else with those combinations of a strong versus the weak, we're going to see that everything needs to take a little breather, have a base, pull back, but I think you want to continue with the strength. The equity markets have been weak for 3 months. Just because we've had a 2.5 week bounce here doesn't mean we're out of juice. We're going into the end of the year. I think there's going to be some performance chasing, people that aren't in the market forced to get in just so they don't look like dummies by the end of the year. So expect this risk on move to continue. Yes, we might get a 1 or 2 down days here, but I'm telling you, I think the risk on move is here to stay for the rest of the year, and then January will be a different story. So stick with the things that are moving. We've got pound, we've got Aussie, we got Kiwi, and we got Euro to play with on the long side. On the short side, we've got CAD, dollar, and yen to play with. Everything else, just ignore it. That's where we want to be playing right now. Thanks for joining me. That is the currency recap. Goodbye, everybody.